Hey everybody, this is Strategy Wizard, and this is my son Nathan.
Hello.
And today we're going to talk about the expansions, or the first two expansions to King of Tokyo. Now, the King of Tokyo all by itself I already told you I really liked. Now these expansions, they add something really special, and that's differentiation of all the monsters. So it actually suddenly matters which monster you pick, and you're going to have something about your character that makes you better at something. So let's go ahead and go to the table. We're going to look at it, and we're going to see how it affects the game, and then later we'll talk about is it worth it, which you already kind of know my opinion, but hey, we're still going to talk about it anyway. Okay, so this is what you get in the expansions. You have the Power-Up expansion and the Halloween expansion. Generally speaking, what you're getting is new characters, new player boards, and of course a lot of cards. Now, you do get some special tokens with the Power-Up expansion that work with these new cards. You also have a nice set of orange and black dice, which functionally are the same as the black and green, but it kind of adds a little theme, and of course it's another set of dice. So if you have 6 players especially, it'd be nice to have extra dice going around, even with 2 players. I mean, you each get your own set, so that's convenient. You don't have to pass around the dice all the time. And the cards here, we've got Halloween cards from the Halloween expansion. These are costumes. So I get the monsters decided to play dress up and do all kinds of crazy stuff, and these do add an interesting element. I don't know, I wouldn't necessarily want to play with them all the time, but they're very interesting. Like this one, the astronaut, if you reach 17 stars, you win the game. Well, wow, so you win 3 points sooner than you otherwise would. The princess, gain 1 star at the start of your turn, so you're constantly gaining points all the time. If you have to lose it, this is the witch, if you have to lose at least 1 heart from another monster's damage, you can re-roll one of their dice, so you can help, possibly help yourself or hurt them. The cheerleader, you can choose to cheer for another monster on their turn. If you do, add damage to their roll, so you can help someone else hurt somebody else that you want to get, if you want them to get destroyed. The devil, on your turn, when you make other monsters lose at least 1 heart, they lose an extra heart. So you have a lot of these cool costumes that are going to change the game, really. And you can steal them from other players, and I think you can also choose to put them in the deck of cards that turn up that you can buy. But the main thing is that you start off with them and you can steal them, and it can really make things interesting. So then you have these green cards, and this is really, to me, the most important part of these expansions. These are the power-up cards. You've got power-up cards for each character. Alienoid, the Mecha Dragon, Gigazor, etc. The King. Now what these do, each character is going to have, I think it's 8 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, you got 8 of these cards for each character. Some are temporary evolutions, and some are permanent evolutions. Whenever you get these, which you get them by rolling 3 hearts. You start off with 1 at the beginning, but after that, if you want to get more, you have to roll 3 hearts, and then even if you're in Tokyo, you get to use those 3 hearts to get an upgrade. And if you do that, the permanent ones, of course, will stay forever, and the temporary ones, you keep them hidden, but you can use them whenever you want as an instant use. For example, the Mecha Dragon has tune-up. Play before rolling dice. If you are not in Tokyo, you can skip your turn and gain 4 health and 2 energy. So you can basically guarantee yourself an awesome roll, so to speak. Then you've got Breath of Doom. When you make monsters in Tokyo lose at least 1 heart, monsters who aren't in Tokyo also lose 1 heart except you, so you start hurting everybody if you're not in Tokyo. Claws of Steel, permanent. On your turn, if you make another monster lose at least 3 hearts, they lose 1 extra heart. So you can see that the Mecha Dragon's focused on trying to do extra damage. And let's see, he's also got this permanent evolution. It says, programmed to destroy, gain 3 points and 2 energy each time another monster reaches 0 hearts. So if you kill someone, which he's already trying to do, then you get to gain points and energy. So a lot of cool stuff there. And all the characters have their own kind of unique twist. Let's see, there was some really cool. The King, I think he typically tries to get into Tokyo. Play when a monster who controls Tokyo leaves or is eliminated. Take control of Tokyo. So it helps you get control of Tokyo even if you aren't the one who knocks someone out. And then, let's see, if you yield Tokyo, do not lose hearts. You can't lose hearts this turn. So that's a great way to make sure that, you can stay in Tokyo longer, because whenever you would die, you can just hop on out for free without getting hurt. A lot of cool stuff here. And, of course, you get the same thing here for Boogie Woogie and Pumpkin Jack. And they add gift evolutions, which you can give to someone, which is not a good thing, of course. They're bad gifts that hurt them, and then they can pass around the table as you play. So You have Panda Kai, Pumpkin Jack, Boogie Woogie, all these new characters, all these power cards that make each character unique and different. And to me, like I say, that's what makes this really cool. So now that you've seen everything, let's go ahead and talk about what we think. Okay, so now that we know what comes in each expansion, let's talk about what we think. Nathan, which one's your favorite, Halloween or Power Up expansion?
Halloween.
Halloween, why?
Because it just has really good artworking, and I like how that works.
Okay, so you like the Halloween theme, the characters, you like that kind of creepy look?
I like that kind of creepy look.
Okay, and I like that too, but power-up expansion to me is obviously more important. And why? Because you get the power-up, the evolution cards for all the original characters, so it fleshes out the original game. The Halloween expansion you definitely want to get second, but it is really cool. You get the extra set of dice, which is nice, so there's not just one set that you're passing around the table. And the costume cards add a lot. Do you like the costume cards?
I like the costume cards.
Why?
Because maybe you could get yourself powers up or something.
Yeah, there are some really good powers, and you can steal them from other players.
Right.
Which I think is by you roll 3 attack, and if you hit someone with 3 fists, and you can pay money to be able to steal their cards, which is cool. You can't do it easily; it's not easy to do, but if you succeed, it can be really powerful.
It can be.
So basically, if you want that power-up ability where each character becomes special and unique, that's really the meat of it.
And I also like the clown because if you get any,
Oh, yeah, okay, so the clown costume is pretty cool because if you get all 6 different faces of the dice...
Like 1, 2, 3 heart, energy, and stuff.
And the claw.
And the claw.
Then you can change your dice to be anything that you want.
Maybe if I want it to be attack, 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 I could do that.
Yeah, you can just change it to whatever you want. That's a really cool one. And we've used that before and been successful and had some really great turns. So it does add a lot more interest. Just cool stuff goes on. But one thing I didn't mention in my King of Tokyo review, I was reviewing the first edition. Some of you may have been savvy enough to know that the boxes that I took a picture of that are at the beginning of this video, those are the second edition expansions. What Iello did, and what I'm really glad of, is they made it to where they are cross-compatible because basically, they don't make the first edition expansions anymore, so you can't get them. But the second edition expansions, and the power-up in particular, they all work together. And the power-up expansion, it gives you There's 2 new characters in the second edition. I think it's maybe like Cosmic Penguin and maybe it's some kind of rabbit. Cyber Kitty maybe. I'm not totally sure. But it gives you the cards for those, but it also gives you the cards for the characters that are in the original that they got rid of, which are, I think it was the Mecha Dragon and the Cyber Bunny? I'm pretty sure. But the point is, it's completely cross-compatible. So if you have the first edition, you can get the second edition expansions and it will work. And that... I have to give a big thanks to Iello. They didn't try to make it a cash grab where we have this new edition, now you have to get these expansions, for this edition only. So, because I was starting to think that I wouldn't be able to use the expansions and I was going to have to buy the new edition to get the expansions. Thank you, Iello, for doing that. That alone makes me want to give these expansions a 10 out of 10 just because that was just a very, very awesome move on their part. But even apart from how great that was, it's just a really great expansion in both cases because giving those power-ups, more characters is always nice, and the extra dice are really nice. So Nathan, what would you rate just as combining both together? We're just going to combine them together. What do you think?
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10? Mm-hmm. I'm going to say that the expansions are... It's kind of hard to rate an expansion, but I'm going to go ahead and rate them 9 out of 10 for me because that's what it brings the whole game up to me. The whole game becomes 9 out of 10 when you add these expansions. So really awesome. Definitely recommended. If there's anything that you think that I left out or any questions you have, leave them in the comments. And we'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe to our channel. But in the meantime, we appreciate you for watching and have a really good day.